Hey guys, I am Ibigandscary. I'm bringing you another StarCraft 2 replay, this time featuring Shiro in the bottom left corner, playing the red Zerg, and in the top right we have Magikarp playing the blue Zerg. Zerg versus Zerg. We are on Daybreak. Both players are on the ladder playing a Masters level game. I know Magikarp is, I believe Shiro is. So yeah, we're going to see some really good back and forth, really great early game micro, and then hopefully, if we're lucky, we'll see some late game shenanigans. I've yet to see a really solid non-pro game that makes it to the late game as Zerg, but that just shows you how ridiculously hectic early game micro mechanics can be. You know what's not ridiculously hectic? Overlords in ZVZ. They really could not care less. They lord over everything and just enjoy life in general. It's really boring if you have a fetish about the Overlords just to watch them during ZVZ. But, you know, they've got a nice map to look at. Daybreak is pretty entertaining as far as things are considered. The natural in particular is very well defended as it sits behind the ramp leading up into the main. So you can technically wall it off. I've seen it done with just 3 structures from the Protoss, but it left it very exposed. And usually Terran will just drop a single bunker. Zerg has a hard time holding it against run-bys from Zerglings or Hellions. But the open ground right on the front makes it so that if you can push out and take the engagement here, rather than up at the choke or even the choke over by the third, you can still put down some serious aggression there and hold back any poking from the opponent. Shiro throwing down his own aggression with a 12 pool, I believe. 12, 13 pool, still on the inside of normal pool timing. We also see a hatch first out of Magikarp. No pool to speak of, no early gas. Gas has been grabbed by Shiro, so it looks like Shiro's going to be moving towards the role of the aggressor, and Magikarp's going to have to hold back this aggression from Shiro just to see if he can make that expansion worthwhile. He's also grabbing his own gas as well as his pool, but he's about, what, 4 supply behind this pool. So if Shiro really wanted to push, and he's building a spine crawler, so maybe not. Maybe he just wants to buy time for something else. I'm curious about that spine crawler. He's not grabbing that early expansion. Maybe he's just being super cautious against an early pool from Magikarp. But then if he was that way, why wouldn't he send out a probe? Why wouldn't he send out early scouting to see exactly what was going on in Magikarp's base? Regardless, the Zerg pool, the spawning pool, finishes up. First round of Zerglings are on the way for Magikarp, as well as that first Queen. Roach Warren going down, so Shiro's playing off of a 1-base timing. Again, that spine crawler just kind of confuses me. Maybe he's just never going to build any Zerglings, which is why he has that, just to protect his probe count. This makes sense. This makes sense. Another Queen coming out for Magikarp. That also makes sense. Kind of timing up those Queens a little bit, actually stuttered, so that the larva timing doesn't quite match up. But a Baneling this for Magikarp, probably for protection, with him grabbing the economic lead early on. I think Magikarp's not going to be trying for a Baneling bust or anything like that. In fact, he's going to have to really defend himself against Shiro's roach aggression, because Shiro's going to have to go absolutely balls to the wall crazy with these roaches in order to keep Magikarp from getting a large economic lead, because 24 to 20 harvesters right now, but in a couple of minutes, Magikarp's going to have 30, maybe 36 harvesters to the 30 that Shiro has. And Shiro's going to get really behind by not being able to mine off of 2 different mineral fields. 3 roaches on the way. I wonder how many roaches Shiro's going to wait for. Probably 6. He could probably make it happen with just 6. But probably a larger number than that. 2 spines coming up for Magikarp. He knows what's up. Spine crawlers, excellent choice against the armored roaches. They do extra damage. The saturation at the main is pretty paltry, as is the natural, but that just means that each drone is going to be harvesting to the maximum of his abilities. Even though he's 4 roaches or 4 drones down, gas income is neck and neck, and the mineral income is just a little bit behind. And we're going to see that it gets significantly closer as the saturation catches up. Shiro grabbing his own hatchery, so I guess he wasn't trying for any sort of 1-base timing. I guess he was just being very conservative. He's got 4 more roaches on the way, so maybe he will try to do some aggression with this, but just not back it up with any constant production of roaches. He'll just push in with this number of roaches, and that'll be it. And then whatever damage he does allows him to keep that hatchery up free of charge. He succeeded in costing Magikarp 300 minerals for these spines, so he's paid for that own expansion. And then the number of units out on the field for Magikarp right now, just 4 and 2 for the Banelings and Zerglings. Not the most intimidating force by way of 10 roaches, but it's still substantial enough. Should be able to hold back Magikarp right now with these 3 spines. We're going to find out. It looks like Shiro is going to be moving out with his roaches, catching Magikarp's Zerglings off in the back door. 4 more roaches coming out for Shiro, so he's definitely approaching that like critical mass of roaches. Not producing any drones down for his expansion. It could be that this hatchery was simply a macro hatch. If that was the case, this queen down here is really going to help out too. Again, Shiro's just not playing the aggressor. He's just waiting for that critical number of roaches as he transfers his own drones. No lair, no upgrades for the roaches, so it definitely looks like it's a 1-base timing. Not really a 1-base timing anymore. He's got a second base, but it wasn't mining until like 5 seconds ago. Double Evo chambers coming up for Magikarp, as well as a Roach Warren looking to spin all that excess gas. He's got almost 600 saved up. A lot of that's going to be spent for Banelings from these 30 Zerglings that are coming out. These roaches probably scouted by the plethora of overlords off in the main base. A lot of Zerglings mixed in with these roaches. Shiro is going to have to make this work. He's going to have to take down a healthy bundle of drones. Attacking a bit to the south is a good idea because he's going to be able to avoid one of the spine crawlers from doing damage. But no, he just pulls right in. Takes a good hit from a Baneling, but all that Baneling damage is avoided from the Zerglings, which is really what needs to happen. All the Zerglings have gone down, but by pulling the roaches back, he allows himself to engage the Zerglings away from the spines, doing the damage. The spines are actually in great health. One of them has been brought down to half health, but the roaches in this case really not doing the damage that they need to do in order to justify the early economically that he's sacrificed to Magikarp. All the Zerglings have gone down again. The roaches are just getting targeted down. None of the spines had fallen. This was over before it began, really. Shiro waited way too long, allowing Magikarp to get up his defenses that he needed to get up. And I think grabbing the expansion was just not a good idea. I mean, he's got plenty of money, not a lot of gas left over. This could have been a macro hatch, or it could have just been a lot of Zerglings a couple minutes earlier, and that aggression could have helped. I don't know. If you guys know, you could let me know. If you don't, that's cool too. One way or another, if you guys have a game you want me to post, you could PM me. Otherwise, I will see you guys later. I am Big and Scary. Bye.